Welcome to Sterling Visionary Voices, the podcast dedicated to bringing you diverse, innovative leadership insights and actionable strategies for success. Join hosts Laura McNeil and Bob Medeiros as they explore the art and science of role model leadership through thought-provoking conversations with real professionals. Whether you're a seasoned leader or aspiring to excellence, Sterling Visionary Voices is your guide to navigating the complexities of your leadership journey.
One of the biggest and perhaps most challenging tasks of a leader is to develop the workforce of the future. The biggest hurdle is honing an ability to anticipate changing talent needs as ongoing demographic shifts continuously evolve. Today's guest is Elaine Flesch, an experienced cyber professional who is also a licensed and active CPA. Elaine currently serves as a board member for the Texas Society of CPAs. During her service with the Texas CPA, she became familiar with the work of the National Pipeline Advisory Group, which actually enlightened her perspective on challenges she faced when becoming a CPA. Welcome to Visionary Voices, Elaine. I'd like to ask if you could start by sharing some personal perspectives and then also some key themes you may have observed that just might encourage students and/or professionals to consider the choice of an alternate career.
Thank you, Laura. It is a pleasure to speak to you today. I feel uniquely privileged to speak about this topic, both from a professional and a personal perspective. I am a Latina from Brazil who started my career as a software engineer and then became a licensed CPA and a cyber professional. During my career pivots, I overcame challenges, and I'm very enthusiastic about sharing my observations. I hope to inspire leaders to encourage professionals to seriously consider accounting or cyber as career choices.
Well, thanks for that, Elaine. In previous conversations that you and I have had, you mentioned that there were compelling reasons for new or seasoned professionals to consider the potential of an accounting career. And when you said that, it resonated with me simply because I grew up focused on being a CPA. And while I graduated with a double major that included both a bachelor's in accounting and one in math and comp sci, I chose to pursue the technology-based career in a finance department of a large corporation. So I'm wondering if you could also share some thoughts on how this theme of emphasizing accounting careers influences the skill set needs of future professionals.
Thank you, Laura. I applied the knowledge and experience that I gained as a CPA daily. Understanding of business, finance, controls, and risk are universal and apply beyond the context of audit and tax work that CPAs are traditionally engaged to do. For instance, my accounting and controls knowledge enabled me to do groundbreaking work in cybersecurity crisis readiness. However, I recognize the accounting profession is undergoing some changes. Accountants must become more technology savvy. Modern accounting and audit require continued evolution of data analytics as a discipline and active management of modern risks such as cybersecurity and information security risks. The latest CPA exam actually reflects this change. CPA exam candidates can now choose information systems and controls as one of the parts of the CPA exam. In this new part, candidates must demonstrate their knowledge of system and data management, security, confidentiality, and considerations for engagements focused on the organization's controls. For example, system and organization controls or SOC attestations.
Oh, that's interesting. I remember doing those when I worked for a large accounting firm. Could you actually tell us a little bit more about how you feel accounting had influenced your career?
Yes. While it is true that a percentage of accountants lead strictly accounting-based careers, which is stereotypically known as numbers-focused, there is a growing percentage of accountants who take other leadership positions and apply their accounting knowledge to found or transform businesses. They do this by applying skills that are required to successfully lead making risk-informed decisions, building quality into processes with adequate controls, and increasing business resiliency with the stronger cash flows. These are all skills that accountants develop in their academic training and their professional lives.
Recently, I was reading some articles and it seemed like there's been an overarching decline of interest in accounting careers. I'm wondering if you could highlight some of these current causes for the students and or the professionals that are listening and maybe emphasize why they would want to pursue an accounting profession and or provide any thoughts on what could be stimulating this decline of interest.
So I'm going to talk of a couple first, and then, of course, there are some more that will develop throughout the conversation. Laura, first impressions matter when students are trying to opt for a major. Most introductory accounting classes, unfortunately, have not evolved to reflect the impact technology has had in the field. Classes materials tend to be focused on accounting before technology was commonplace, and other theoreticals that discourage students from pursuing the career. There are efforts to modernize the material to help students better relate accounting principles to our digital business era. The other concern is the high attrition rates. I experienced this firsthand both in my MBA in accounting as well as my computer science degree way back when, because there is a lot of abstract thinking and math that both disciplines require that can stymie students from continuing with their degrees. The struggles can also be compounded by cultural stereotypes, which discourage especially females and underrepresented segments of the population to consider STEM majors as viable career choices. I'm engaged with my alma mater, the University of Texas at Dallas, as well as other educational institutions to help provide a diverse view of the accounting profession and also of cyber professionals.
Do you find that the cost and the time required to obtain the necessary level of education could also be contributing to the decline in accounting career interests?
Yes, Laura, this is another barrier, especially for professionals who want to switch to accounting or cyber or computer science later in their careers. Uh, Prominent technology companies have recognized this as a barrier by removing bachelor's degrees as a requirement for many technical roles and also considering experiential learning, skills, and experience as appropriate substitutes for a degree. However, CPA licenses have specific educational requirements mandated by the states.
The other concern I hear that could be driving disinterest in a career as an accountant is related to the CPA exam. Do you have any insights on why?
I do. As a career changer myself, who chose to become a CPA after working professionally for many years, this hits home to me. I hold multiple professional certifications, including the Certified Information Systems Security Professional, or CISSP. Similar to the CPA, the CISSP has professional experience requirements and a professional attestation from a CISSP certified in good standing. The similarities between the two certifications stop there. The CPA exam has 4 parts, which must be scheduled with narrow testing windows between them. Furthermore, a CPA candidate must fulfill educational requirements to be eligible to sit for the CPA exam. The latter forces students to wait to take the exams across months and, in my case, years after they have completed their courses. At the time I sat for the CPA exam, I was a product owner for a telecommunications networking monitoring company in the Dallas area. The accounting I learned from my MBA had low correlation to my day to day job, which may be common for career changers. For those who work in public accounting, the firms typically pay or help pay for exam preparation. However, the workload that the professionals have make it challenging for CPA candidates to reconcile career and family demands with their study time. This is an area, in my opinion, where accounting leaders can make a significant impact on the candidate's success on the CPA exam. They can offer flexible work schedules and overall recognition of successful CPA candidates for their efforts.
What are your thoughts on expanding access to these types of careers, accounting as well as cyber? What role do these professions play in the future of business?
So, underrepresented groups may not see examples of successful CPAs that they can emulate. I would not ever consider becoming a CPA if it were not for a great mentor, a successful Hispanic CPA who owns a CPA firm in Dallas. He encouraged me to consider the profession when I went back to school for my MBA. He also introduced me to another great mentor and friend who referred me to a Big Four accounting firm. This is the most crucial part to me. Family and friends influence immensely the process, since most people look for the role models prior to selecting a profession. My choice to become a cyber professional was also the result of encouragement from my peer group. I attained my first cyber certification, the CISSP, thanks to the foresight of a dear friend, a female colleague, who aptly recognized the value of cyber knowledge early on and encouraged me to pursue the certification. That's why it's so important for leaders to consider engaging with high schools, colleges, and universities to share their experience and provide credible role models to students. Also, as we talked earlier, given the number of credits required for the CPA exam and the licensees, having college bound programs will help students affordably meet these requirements. However, these programs will only be successful if leaders continue to partner with colleges and universities to provide experiential opportunities for students to learn and earn. These steps do not apply to accounting candidates only, but they are also relevant to attracting a broader set of professionals into cyber and technology. These professions offer a path for social mobility, as you know. They both enjoy incredibly low rates of unemployment, less than 2% for accountants and even less for cyber, and with high average salaries. Now, there is an opportunity to attract career changers like me who may be considering an accounting career but do not know how to make the transition. My CPA license required focus, dedication, and persistence to meet the CPA license requirements. I started in 2007 as I was preparing to commence my MBA program. I decided to become a CPA once I identified a path forward to meet the educational requirements. However, I did not get licensed until November 2015 when I finally met my experience requirements. All this effort paid off. Earning the CPA license has opened doors in my career that I would not have had access to, starting with a cyber leadership role at the same accounting firm that I mentioned. The opportunities do not end there. Corporate boards typically seek directors with risk management and financial expertise. The ability to understand financial reports, oversee internal and external auditors, and to think critically are all extremely important skills to boards and to other leadership roles. My opinion, the opportunities are endless.
How can leaders emphasize and enhance employee career progression and skill set growth in support of evolving business models and cultures? Any thoughts on that?
I do. Indeed, leaders have a crucial role in this process. The first thing is to create a more engaged employee experience where workers feel like they're doing meaningful work and that work supports a compelling vision. The other component is commitment to the employee's career and professional development. Companies that do that well ultimately reap the benefits of higher retention and engagement, since employees tend to stay longer as they explore diverse career paths. As an example, the Big Four firm that I work for was extremely supportive of my career pivots. I initially joined the IT operations team with full transparency to my leader then that my goal was to become a CPA. He was extremely supportive and encouraged the internal move to a practice within the firm where I would work on IT general controls audits and internal audit advisory. Finally, as I transitioned to cyber as a full-time career after working for this practice, the firm was again incredibly supportive of my professional development by offering certification training, leadership development with stretch assignments, and targeted mentoring.
What else do you think leaders could do to help others consider career changes that might benefit them the best in the long run?
First, leaders should use their careers as living testimonies to their professional journey. I recall that every time that I spoke about my career, most team members found my journey unique and were interested in learning more from my rationale for my career changes. I'm glad to say that I have influenced two former colleagues to make diverse career choices as the result of my becoming a CPA. You never know who has an unfulfilled dream who is just waiting for you to share your life story as encouragement. The other thing leaders could do is to continue to have open and honest conversations with their teams on their career aspirations. When your team members confide in you about their career aspirations, your role as a supportive leader is to be non judgmental, open minded, and supportive of your team members' exploratory efforts. Use stretch assignments or other opportunities to meet unfulfilled needs for the business, which provides the business with an engaged and knowledgeable employee while becoming an enriching experience for that employee considering career changes. Finally, I encourage our listeners to learn more about the efforts to strengthen the U.S. accounting pipeline by downloading the report from the National Pipeline Advisory Group at www.accountingpipeline.org. Thank you, Laura, for having me in this podcast today.
It's been a pleasure hosting you, Elaine. Thank you so much for your insightful tips.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Sterling Visionary Voices, Insights for Role Model Leadership from the Sterling Council. Discover more and connect with us at sterlingvisionaryvoices.com.